Sometime after the study lesson, Sheena, Kate and Emma meet again to discuss the children's learning and evaluate the pedagogic strategies and approaches they had opted to use.
Did any of the techniques help him?
Well, it's actually quite interesting when I had my little interview with him and he picked up on the highlighting of the text,
Right.
which was actually quite a small part of that activity, but he liked being able to highlight the text. He liked being able to see what other people had written. And then he actually said that he thought he could reuse those words, he thought he could steal them and use them in future extended rights. So that was something, you know, considering that's such a small part of it, I think that was something to bear in mind, that he liked finding examples.
So having the examples there for him already.
Maybe it made it easier for him working on his own in the extension. Having those already highlighted is easier to pick them out and have a think, well, how can I use these to write my own sentences?
Exactly, and it was immediately successful because he was able to find those highlighted sentences really easily, which already gave him that kind of confidence boost.
Good. Do you think we'd need to adjust anything to improve his learning next time? Because he actually responded to lots of different parts of the lesson, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He had his hand up a lot. He
Yes.
wanted to give his ideas.
Yeah.
Which I think we did say he would be.
Yeah, we did. Speak confidently when asked to. And actually, during that video at the beginning, he was constantly, him and Mark, sharing ideas and passing it on to Lynn from the minute the video started.
Do you think it helped giving him a clear focus?
Yeah.
One thing to pick out?
Definitely. Because
I think the children on my table said that as well, that having one thing to focus on helped them to watch the clip and get what they needed from it.
And actually what was nice was that even though Billy's was just, what could you see, I did notice that then when you were asking about the hearing, could you hear anything, he'd already gone on to thinking, and it wasn't he sat back and thought, oh, I can't, you know, that isn't my section. He then volunteered ideas for what could you hear, so he was fully kind of involved.
Okay, so next time we really need to keep some kind of immediate confidence building success activity at the beginning for that group. Do you think it might be worth our while thinking about, for these groups like Izzy's, having a similar type of activity, something that's quick and immediately successful for them?
Yes, I think that would work, because it clearly
Perhaps
did work with those.
a sort of peer editing thing where they write for say 5-10 minutes, and then they get the chance to highlight each other's work, highlighting the clauses.
They then go on to think about how they could adapt what they are doing to develop the children's learning even further, as well as considering how they want to extend their lesson study collaboration into the future.
So maybe if we were looking again at further study, we'd want to continue with the clauses, so they'd be equally confident at the beginning and the end, and the majority wasn't using them in the middle.
And I think possibly because that guided writing technique has worked with the group that you were working with, maybe if that was our focus, if we did a guided writing group again and that was our focus, so really sort of honing in on that position again and reiterating it, because it's quite likely that if they're coming around to it a second time anyway, they're going to be more familiar and more confident with it. So that might be the kind of extra push that they need to really become confident with it.
And perhaps maybe we've chosen this because of it, the context of year 6 and moving children within level 4 and onto a level 5. Perhaps we would like to do it in a different genre, perhaps a non-fiction rather than fiction.
Yeah,
because fiction was accessible to them easy this time.
And I think it's important that they realise that complex sentences occur in all genres, which they won't necessarily. They'll immediately think of fiction, won't they?
Perhaps what we could do in between the two study lessons is introduce that sort of task into guided reading as well, getting them to pick out complex sentences and record them in their reading journals.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Because that will keep it fresh in their mind, won't it?
Yeah.